Shut up and sit down.
Hello gang, Colin here, Festa 67's workshop, and welcome to part 4 of the Kawasaki Ninja Carbon build-up. And yes, it is assembly day. We are finally getting to put this bad boy together after a little bit of a break, I'm afraid. So let's start by gluing the headers of the exhaust pipes. Let that go a bit tacky, and then we can attach that to the engine of the frame, engine of the bike even. There you go. Press that into place, let that start binding, and then there's a little screw that goes in underneath there just to pull that in place and keep it in situ, folks. So we'll get that put in like so. Now this bike was kindly sent to me by the lovely Wendy Hickson with an H, folks, so big props to Wendy for this. And also, Wendy, many thanks for your patience, because it has taken me a little while to get back on form to get this build sorted. So thanks for your patience and understanding, and hopefully you like what I've done with her. So we'll just put this in place. Try not to drop the screw, Cole. Just drop that out. And we'll just line that back up with my eyes of seeingness, which is my rather large magnifying glass off screen, because I have old man eyes. So yeah, there you go. So we'll just get that in place and let that bite just on that silencer there. Screw that in, just nip it up, and that will stop that then from moving. Now the little piece by me right hand there, I've actually decaled in carbon fibre as well, just to maintain the aesthetic, he says, of the bike. And then we put a little bit of a screw in just where that collector box is, just there. And that will then draw that in nice and tight into its final resting place, like so. Just quickly have a deft look around to make sure nothing's pinged out whilst I've been working on the bike. And we'll put a little dab of glue just back on that peg underneath, just to pull that back down. Go. Put that on its paddock stand and move on to the next bit. So let's have a looky, Lou, what we got just off camera. We got all the body panels are going to go on this today. So we should be able to get all the fairings on, everything buttoned down, seat unit, all of that. And this bike then should be ready to be revealed, folks. So let's just have a quick gander at what we've got next, and then we can get that piece in place. So I just want to double check everything's lined up, and then we can drop this radiator up behind that front wheel. There's a couple of little lugs on the frame. Just want to put a little dab of extra fin in there, like so. And a little piece down there, because there's a little locating leg that goes down there. And then we got the radiator to put in, and then all the hoses to connect. So that's why the instructions are there, just so that I can see what I'm doing. And there's another little hose that goes just on the top of the radiator there. Use my tweezers just to put it on the pin and locate it in place. And it will stay on there. There's a little bit of extra fin on there just to help keep it in situ. But just keep at it, folks. It's a little bit fiddly, but you'll get there. Like that. And it's funny seeing it like that now. It makes me really glad that I spent the time to cut those little pieces out the frame in the first episode and done the modifications, because to me eye, it just looks right now. Right, let's put this duct on. Get that in place. Again, this is all carbon fibre decaled, folks. Hopefully it's coming out on camera and you can see it. But yeah, a bit of deft decalage was done on all of that. So we can just go round, cut off a couple of bits of clear sprue. You'll see what I'm using for them in a minute. Give that a bit of a sand and a bit of a clean up. And then we can add that on there just to give that reservoir a clear look. So that's what we want to do with that. So a bit of a scrapykins. We put that in with a bit of canopy glue. that'll be then the lens on the headlight done. Because, yeah, I very nearly attached it and forgot to put the lens in. Yeah, and then I would have done splaying and flailing of my arms and legs like a 3-year-old because I'd forgotten a bit. And that literally just glues on there like so. And then the duct goes round and joins into where the turbo is. So I just want to make sure that that's all going to be glued in place for you. So, pop that on there. And then we can line up then the fairing to make sure that everything is going to line up in place. Because this is that crucial stage now where you're putting all the body panels on and you want everything to just line up. So there's been a bit of judicious dry fitting just to make sure that this goes on place. Now on this stem, you will need to trim it back a little bit just to get that headlight unit to sit back far enough. So I've taken a fraction more off than I need so that then when I put the fairing on, if I need to slide it forward, I can. But this ducting should actually pop it forward just in the correct place. So I'm going to glue that on just to see whether it does nudge it forward a little bit. But I want a little bit of adjustment in there just so that the fairing itself is not under tension, because otherwise it's going to be skew whiffed because this duct is only on one side of the bike, see. So I want it to sit nice and straight. Don't want a wonky front end on your bike, do you, folks? Because, it does look nice. I do like this bike. Something about it. Right, let's get this rear mudguard, a seat assembly and all of that lot into place. Now you've got your lenses that I've already gone through and painted, your indicators and things like that. And also in the detail upset, you do get a couple of marker reflectors as well for the sides. So you can pop them on if you choose to. You don't have to, but I stuck them on mine because I just thought, well, they're there. Might as well use them. So we'll just get a little bit of Molotov chrome and just quickly paint the insides of where the lenses are going to go with the chrome. And I've just literally pressed the marker pen to get a bit of chrome on the nib. And then I'm brushing it with a brush just to get it in place. It just puts enough of it on there so that you get the chrome effect. I don't want to go too bright. I just want it in there, just enough. So less is more in this case, and it's going on a gloss black anyway, so it should stick out. And then using a bit of canopy glue, just go over it, pop your lens in place, and voila, have you a bit of that. Onwards and forwards with the fuel tank, just pops in place there, sits on a little locating peg. A tiny little bit of glue went on just to stop it falling off because I will knock it off otherwise. And this is your fairing, folks. Many, many moments of carbon fibre decals went into this bad boy. And you've got a couple of the raised Kawasaki stickers to go on there and a badge on the front. So just pop them on. And then you'll be able to put your cowling in and yeah, you'll be well away. Wing mirrors are on, as you can see. And they've been done in C1 metallizer on this. It's coming out a little dark on the camera, the C1 metallizer, but to me eye, it's actually very chromy, very shiny. But yeah, it's not quite coming out on camera. I perhaps need to upgrade me lighting for future videos, I think. And then this is all your inner fairing, speedo mounts, all of that lot. And the little covers with the grills in that go on the sides at the front of the fuel tank. They've all been carbon fibre decal wrapped just to give it a bit of a difference, bit of an effect on this build, because it is an H2 carbon at the end of the day. So we do want it looking rather sexy. I'm just literally taking off the bits from the photo etch sheets and adding them to it, rivets and things like that. and you've got the grills and you've got the little dividing vanes for the grills to go in. Now these are very tiny, so pingonometry may happen. If it doesn't, I go quiet, you know it's stuck on me toes, folks, but we'll have a go. I've got my super glue to hand. Cue the Jaws music, Festa and super glue. Always goes well for me. And we'll try and get these in place. So just have a look under my magnifying glass just to make sure I can see where I'm going. There's a couple of holes in each of these grills that a couple of the pins locate into. So orientate them around to suit yourself. And then deftly using your tweezers, put them in place. Now I'm having to do this under my magnifier so I can see what I'm doing. So I do apologise for bringing the pieces forward off camera. It's just that I need to see that they're going in the right place. So apologies for that. I'll try not to do it so much, but I do need just to make sure that they're going in, because it is important to get these located properly. And it's so much easier to do this when you're not filming, but yeah, I'm trying to stay on shot as much as possible for you. So they are a bit fiddly. So I just want to make sure that the pins are lined up. And then when I do put them in, I shall bend the pin very slightly just to retain them. So they're in. And they're now ready to attach. And they are handed, so check your instructions just to make sure you're putting these on the correct side. And then once they're in, just retain them with a dab of glue, because they have got that pingonometry about them, folks. There are pegs, so put a bit of glue on them and press them in place, because they will fly off. And they sit against the tank there, around the contours at the front, and just attach to the frame like so. And it's these little details that bring this bike together and just make it pop. So yeah, absolutely loved this build. It's been a pleasure to do. It's been fiddly. It has been fiddly. It's kicked me bum a little bit, but I'm glad I've persevered. I just want to put that in place. Checked under my magnifier that it's in, and we should be now happy that that's gone in like that. And I'm just giving them a little press together just to make sure they join in the middle, folks. And that's just finished the front of that tank area off nicely, just like that. Beautiful. Right, let's get this in place. Now I've put my decal on, and I've put some clear resin adhesive in place just so that it acts as a lens for the Speedo. So it all looks rather splendid. So I'm happy about that. And it sits on a little peg, and then that will stop that rattling around, and that will just push on the spike at the front. But with these panels, I just want to put a little dab of glue on them before I put the screws in, just to retain it all. Put the sides on before you attach the fairing, because it just makes it a little bit easier to handle these side panels, stops them flapping about a little bit. So there is a screw hole there, so just pop your screw in, nip it home so that it bites the two bits of plastic together, and that's your side parts in place. This assembly is going rather well. I'm quite happy with how it's going today. Not far off of being done. Dun, 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 dun. I will pull a wheelie, I know I will. I got the side stand to put on, so I might as well cut that off the sprue. Get that in place. Again, that's retained by a little teensy-wincy screw into the frame. I just want to double check where it goes, just to make sure I'm going to put it in the right spot. Because, yeah, this is me. Anyone's going to make a mistake, it's going to be me, isn't it? So let's just grab that. Start the screw off in the stand before I then wrestle it towards the frame, because otherwise, Captain Twitchy Pants here, I'll end up pinging the screw out. So I just want to get it to bite, and then we can rest that in place. Just try and orientate the bike where me tremors don't get in the way. So just stretch a little bit and then we can get that in situ. Just want to grab that whilst I can, and then we can get that in. Sure, there's something else that needs to go on. Is there another foot peg? Let's just have a quick look through me bits and check to make sure that everything's going in place before I put that on, because I will knock bits off otherwise, and I don't really want to do that. I'll just quickly rummage around. It is here. Yeah, it's just offshore. I spotted it. Yeah. Right. Let's have a looky-loo. Get that in place like so. Just whop it back. And I'm going to nip the screw up just so that it bites, because this is going to be displayed on the paddock stand. So I don't really need the stand to be able to fall down. So I'm just going to nip it up so it holds the stand where I want it to be retained in its closed position, like so. Pop that back in the wheel. Little spindle on there locates that in place. Right, let's just go around now and add on these last few little components. Drop that in, like so. It's a little cover that just goes on the side of the chain guard there. And then it's fairing with the mirrors and everything all attached. So it goes on a little spindle on the front of the bike below the speedo. And then there's a couple of tinsy screws that just attach them panels to the side of the frame. But I just want to quickly go around the bike and make sure everything that needs to be attached before the fairing is on is in place. Because, yeah, I want to do this as a one-shot deal because it's got metallizer on it and I don't really want to handle the sides too much. There will be fingerprints on it again, so I'll polish them out once I've got the fairing back on. But just gently locate it on the pin and just slide it gently back, because you don't want to break the pin off, especially at this stage, because, yeah, it's crucial to get this bit right. So just check and double check that everything as you slide it back is locating in. All your connections, hoses, all of that lot, you want them to sit behind where the speedo is, so that when you slide this back it's nice and clean looking. I'm just gently checking and double checking as I push that back, and then the light unit at the front will just pop into its appropriate area. So I just want to just check to see what's catching there. I think it might be one of them reservoirs there's just protruding a little bit. So I've just adjusted that back because they are the detail up ones, not the kit ones. So they was just sitting just slightly proud enough to foul on the fairing. So we don't want that. Now it's sitting there, it's gone home quite nicely. So I can now attach that. So I'm a lot happier. So we just line that up now and true it up. And then we can get the screws in place, and that will be this build finitoed. Just want to try and orientate the bike so that I can get the screw in without catching the metallizer on the side. But the beauty of the C1 is you can reapply it and repolish it. So I'll probably give it another coat once this is assembled. So I just want to locate the screw into its appropriate hole on the frame and then screw that home nice and gently. Like that. Just need it to bite into the frame. Bink. There you go. It's going now. So we'll be bringing up some reveal photos in a minute of the finished bike. And what do you think of that, folks? Hey? I love how this bike's come up. It's an absolutely stunning kit you can't go wrong. A couple of little background diorama shots there just to give you a bit of variation, but I think you'll agree she's turned into a rather beautiful bike, and I'm very proud to have this in my collection, folks. Hopefully you like what I've done with it. Again, a big thank you and massive hugs to Wendy Hickson with an H. Remember to like and subscribe and ring the bell. And you can support me on Patreon by going over to patreon.com/Festa67's workshop, or you can become a channel member. That'll give you access to the Zoom 24/7 off-air hangout and links to the live stream where you can come and join me and me mates. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down,